Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, man. You know who we are, Calrissian kids. And this is the finale season, who knows, of the Acolytes, episode 8, titled The
The
Acolyte.
Acolyte.
All spoilers, got to talk about a thing to talk about a thing. And man, one major thing, I was right. I'm not gonna gloat. I'm not even gonna harp on it. I was right. We'll
Beat
get
your
to
chest.
it.
Beat your chest, Rashad.
Oh
Pat yourself
man,
on the
you know what I'm
back.
saying. Gotta be humble about this. I'll be humble for a minute. So let's just get right into this episode, man. Oh yeah, can't even lie, banger of an episode. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm seeing some lukewarmness, and also just some high hate, but it's
Yeah.
whatever, man. All right, we'll talk about what works and all that good stuff at the end, but for now, let's just focus on episode 8. And how do we start off?
Um, just pick it up where saying. So the episode basically starts off with our girl Osha going back 2 episodes. How it ended, she put on the courtesan helmet to get to test it out, and we come back and she has it on, and she is basically dark side tweaking under that helmet. You hear her breathing hard and talking and stuff. And Qimir sees this and he is like, yeah, he's feeling it. But then he starts to feel it on top of that because, you know, what was it he said, Rashad, at the end of the episode that we saw when she was explaining to her what this helmet was? She said, hey, what does this do? And he told her,
Yeah, basically, like it heightens what you have. It takes with you what you already have, something like that,
mm-hmm.
right? That's what he said.
Yeah, he basically said like it's sensory deprivation.
Yeah,
It makes you one. It intones you to the void. To I said void, the force.
the void. It's the wrong franchise.
Wrong franchise to the force. But on top of that, he said the same thing. He was like, it take so basically it's you, the force, and whatever you take with you, similar to what Master Yoda told Luke in Empire Strikes Back when they had that dark side cave, and Luke was like, yo, what's in there? And then he was just like, it's whatever, it's the force and whatever you take with you. And then we saw Luke try to take a lightsaber. He was like, I don't mean that like that, stupid. You leave the weapon behind. So he, and then on top, so that helmet, putting that on, that reawoke her reawaken, excuse me. I said, whoa, look, reawaken her her force, her connection to the force. And it also heightened her witch powers that she had from, her coven.
Yeah.
And Qimir started tweaking because you saw his eyes turn black and she started messing with him, and she was getting in his head, and he, but he's still strong, very strong in the force. He had enough power in the force to be like, hey, yo, chill. Saying, yo, chill, girl, to get that helmet off of her, where and she was kind of like, yo, what was that? She started liking it. She was like, yeah, mommy likes that. She like, yeah, she was like, mommy likes that. And he was like, yeah. And then she goes on to say, yo, I had a force vision. And well, her force vision was May kill Sol, and she does it without a weapon. And Rashad, what have we come to realize about force visions?
Similar to the Jedi at times, force visions are trash because a lot of times, like you always say, from a certain point of view, they always kind of get misconstrued, or what somebody says is not really what happens, or it's not really 100%. It's not hardly ever 100% clear. I think the only time that for real, like you said before, the only time really worked was when we seen for real is Anakin. Yeah, when he killed all of the Tusken Raiders, you know what I'm saying? The women and the children, all of them. So, but other than that, it's always very cloudy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Remember when, like I said, in Revenge of the Sith, he kept having these visions that Padme is gonna die. Padme's gonna die. And Anakin finally was like, I gotta find out what's going on. And he went to Master Yoda. And he went to Master Yoda. He didn't tell him exactly what's going on. He was just like, hey man, I'm feeling this type of way. And what did Yoda and God, Yoda and even Qui-Gon and has all even Obi-Wan said this to about Force visions. Don't let these visions cloud your judgment.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that the Jedi have always been like, hey yo, these Force visions ain't as black as white as you think it is. This is showing different scenarios of what of what can possibly happen. And so she tells Qimir, I had this vision or whatever she said, like you said, that May killed Sol without the weapons. And Qimir was like, yeah, she can do that. And she was like, and Osha's like, yeah, I'm going to where they are, my sister and them. And then he was like, how you gonna get there? You don't got no ship. And he was like, you got a ship. And he's like, just tell me where they're gonna be at. And she's like, no, I'm gonna fly there. You can come along with us. But I'm saying, you're gonna come. So he finally kind of like acquiesced to her demands. Fine, yeah. We'll both go together. You see them on their little rocky beach type thing, and you see the little land bridge that's been covered up with the water when the high tide comes in. They're going. But then we see from a certain point of view another angle, and someone is watching them the entire time. And you see some little spiny looking thing.
Like somebody's watching me. I didn't get no privacy.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
And Mike you Peaks. See these fingers peeking around the corner like your boy Spice Adams. And who is it? Somebody that like I said, when I saw this, what I say, Avashad, I was like, big boy in ATL.
I know that ain't who I
think it is. It's that little big brother. I know that ain't who I think it is. And sure enough, it was who we thought, who we kind of felt it was. It was Darth Plagueis. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing we've always said was there was a bigger bad in this more than just Qimir.
Oh, definitely.
And you don't, during this time period in Star Wars, you don't get no bigger and better than Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis, even the Jedi never knew about Darth Plagueis. They learned about him later, like even after the fall of the Republic. That's when they like, oh, so that's who trained Palpatine. That's when they found out the lineage of the of the Sith. The Sith. They always knew about the Rule of Two, but they thought they wiped it out. I forgot which is last Sith they thought they wiped it out with, and they was like, oh, cool. But they never knew about Darth Plagueis until Luke found out and stuff later. And like you see Darth Plagueis, and like I said, that's a character in the Star Wars universe that a lot of fans have been clamoring to see, and I'm kind of glad we finally see him. We're going to see what happens, with this, revelation that he is there in the shadows and may have been pulling the puppet strings for the whole time. Yeah. Meanwhile, what's happening on the ship with your girl?
May. All right, so we got May and we got Sol, and Sol has May strapped to the bed, and he is. I mean, we're gonna say that last episode was him explaining what happened on on Brendok, and May is like, yo, your story is trash. You killed my mom because you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, essentially, I did this because it was the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's very like staunch about that fact. Like I'm like, as the kids say, it's about to be played out. He was very much standing on business when it came to his feeling about taking them out of their, of their family or from their family, all because they look, your mother did something very weird when it came to you and your sister's one person. I don't know how she split y'all in half, but y'all one person. And there's a vergence of the Force on the planet, and I need to get y'all to the planet so I can prove to the Jedi Council, so I can essentially basically he was trying to clear his name.
Yeah.
He said, look, I'm a cop to killing y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give them a good reason why. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what because we see later on when they finally make it down to Brendok, he does say that to her, and he says that to even because that's when Osha finds out, because Osha still didn't know, and he sat there, and Osha was like, "Is it true?" Because he admitted to May that I killed your mother, and she was like, "Is it true?" And she's like, "Yeah," and like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" He was like, "Without May, because he thought May was dead, there was no way I can prove there was a virgin." And now that she's here, all right, cool. But May whole thing was she wanted the Jedi dead for killing her family, but she also wanted them to admit what they, what they did, admit what you did and what you covered up. So May escapes. She finds a way to escape. Because once again, let's I come to realize Sol is probably one of I'm not gonna say but one of the worst Jedi that we've seen in this franchise. But like you said, like we've said before, he's never in the moment. You know what his moment is? 16 years ago when that place burnt down.
Yeah, definitely.
Brendok, but he's never in the moment. He's never balanced, so he's not aware of everything going on. Because May just straight up picked the lock right there in front of him. He didn't see it. And was able to give him the stun gun action. Stole the little, I guess, what type of vessel? I guess exploratory vessel that was attached to the main ship, and she got away. And she was like, "Dang, too bad this thing don't have a hyperdrive." But she was trying to get away. They flew into like
asteroid
belt rings. It was like an asteroid ring, almost like a ring of Saturn, like how that's around Saturn into the plane. And then this dude is about to shoot her down.
Not only that, but like he follows her through it. And she was like, he can't fit in here. He just was like, he was forcing to fit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that, like, bro, your ship's too big for this little field. He was not caring, bumping into stuff and just like straight up got a lock on her. Was about to shoot her down. Whether he thought it was going to be like innocuous or fatal, it didn't matter. He was about to shoot her down. And then
shout out
our homeboy, MVP of a lot of these episodes, because he been finding stuff. And I figured out his name. It's Bazil. So our homeboy Bazil, you know what I'm saying, our little tracker. And I really think that he could smell his fear. You know what I'm saying? Or at least his anger or something was awful. Oh, I got even better. So the way that he smelled was different. Because if you walked up, so he kept on sniffing like, and I guess that scent like alerted him that something was wrong, and what he was about to do was wrong. That's just my head canon.
His pheromones was off. Put it like
that. He was like, yo, my spidey sense is telling me that you about to do something dumb. So he rips out a bunch of cords. The ship kind of loses its bearings, flips, bumps into May's ship, and then she goes crash landing. They go crash landing as well. Both of them are on the planet Brendok, and essentially, next scene is when whatchamacallit pulls up, right?
Real quick, before we go to that part, back on Coruscant, we'll get to
yeah.
Back on Coruscant, we see our girl Vanestra Rowe. She's walking, and her Padawan's like, Master, Senator's in the control room.
And Senator Rancourt.
She is pissed. She looks at him as like, you let a senator go into the control?
What you doing?
Room?
And he was like,
doing?
Like,
I don't know, whatever.
Yo,
he's
waiting. Dumbest Padawans, yo.
Yeah, he's waiting for you. And she's like, now mind you, this is the same senator that was making that speech a few episodes ago about how the Senate needs to be able to look into Jedi affairs to see exactly like, yo, what the hell is going on with these dudes and stuff
little
like.
little third party review. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
look,
saying?
yeah, just you know what I'm saying, outside, outside,
Independent counsel.
yeah, outside. You know what I'm saying? Internal affairs type thing. You know, to see what's going on. And so, you know, we never see what the guy looks like until this episode. It's a black dude. Shout out. He's like, yeah, and she's like, oh, you're back, Master Vanestra, blah blah. He was like, hyperspace. I thought they didn't really agree with you, and she was like, stomach ache just a little bit. I'm cool. You know, she trying to play it off, and he's like, so you investigating a murder, and you ain't bring this to the Senate attention? And she was like, you know, it's still an ongoing case. You know, she used possibly every jargon that like legal jargon / you know, security jargon, military jargon to try to beat around it. She was like, well, you know, it's an ongoing case. You know, we want to get more facts before we take, you know, take this up to the big thing. Like, yo, we ain't even told the High Council yet. You know, we still working on this.
So basically, if it's not out of control, I ain't even gotta let them know. It's under my jurisdiction. We're good.
Right.
He was like, well, how you know it ain't out of control? You said, man, it's just some couple of Jedi's died. He says, no, just death of a Jedi. She was like,
no, a couple.
Yeah. So more than one Jedi died?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like being super cagey about it. And like her responses was funny because she was giving the most non-answer answers. You know what I'm saying? I've seen. That's one thing I do like about Vanestra. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? She just straight up lying too, like everybody else. But yeah. And
then go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, he and he was like, yo, I know you don't like me, yo. And she was like, yeah, I really don't. And he was like, and he was like, good, because this is what this is. Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of
because remember she says, I feel like you have ulterior motives. She was like, you have your little motives. And at first I thought she was gonna be like, did he try to be a Jedi or something? And maybe he flunked out. No, my man is just like, yeah, y'all got too much secretive stuff that nobody really knows about. And we just need to get a better understanding. Basically, that's what he said. We need to get a better understanding of what's going on. And I think he feels that the Jedi at the time had too much power. They wielded too much power. And you know what they say, you know, power corrupts, and
absolute power corrupts absolutely. He told her, look, y'all are just a cult. And y'all claim to control the uncontrollable. And she was like, what? We don't control the Force. She said, no, stupid. Emotions.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen when somebody's emotions become unchecked and then they do the unthinkable? And Tony,
but that's been going on.
We've been saying the whole time.
Yeah.
We're saying it the whole time. Like, it's all like, yo, ain't nobody emotions in check this whole time. Nobody's emotions are in check.
Nobody's emotions in check. The thing is, the Jedi has had a habit of this. That's why you had dark Jedi. How many, you know, saying you've had Jedi who broke off to become, you know, Sith. I mean, they even during the Skywalker era, you know, before, you know, saying during the Anakin saga, you see in the library they have busts of Jedi masters. You know what I'm saying? They keep them for a reminder, Jedi masters who turned to the dark side, you know, who left the order and turned to the dark side.
Yeah, like even in the in Republic, there's like there's something, I think it's like 19 people broke away from the order. Some people, some of them died, some of them did like end up, you know, doing whatever it felt like, and a couple of them did turn like evil, so to speak. So the fact that he's just trying to say, look, you guys can't be out here. Y'all not the CIA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, y'all really should be more like some local sheriffs, but y'all really out here running this like y'all the CIA, and
y'all
some sort of secret intelligence. Y'all got you know, little
Homeland Security.
Y'all DHS. Like y'all really like posted up everywhere. Y'all checking people. Y'all running immigration.
Because people remember control, they got temples all over the galaxy. That's the whole thing. Like they got temples all over the galaxy.
Y'all everywhere. Like even Kanaka. It's like, yo, he was stationed on the planet he went to. They stationed him there. He didn't like, even though like he was like, cut off all communication, but they sent him there just to be the Jedi for the planet. So, come on now. I need to see the bigger picture of how they are the imperialistic government.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got that rant out the way. And then I'll just add this in here because so we can get off Coruscant. So a little bit later in the episode, you see the Padawan goes back to Vanessa Room and be like, hey, we've located, Sol. And she's like, what do you mean? He turned his beacon back on. And then she was like, where's it at? And he said, Brendok. And she went, all right, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna gather up as many Jedi Knights as you can discreetly, and we're gonna get up out of it. And he was like, I mean, stuff it up in there. He's like, oh, do you that's loud. So she's like, the Padawan was like, do you think we're gonna run into some problems? And she was just like, get my Jedi Knights.
Basically, he was like, do you think we're gonna have a confrontation? And she was like, resolution,
right?
And which is the most accurate thing anybody says so far. And like the funny thing about this scene too was when when he told her the planet, she made a face like this right here.
Right. She was like, this man just don't know how to let nothing go. He is not letting.
Why are we going to Brendok? So yeah, definitely. So we get back to Brendok. And is May and it's Osha and Sol, right?
May and Sol. Remember May? Yeah. Oh no, May and Sol. It's May and Sol.
My bad. Osha
May and Sol are there, but also
I meant to say Osha
and Qimir have landed as well, but they don't know yet that
which cause there.
They're there as well, and they're heading. May goes back to the temple, and then you see your boy Sol like trying to track her. He knows where to go, and my man is just May. I'm like, dude, use the Force, bro. See if you can sense her.
Nah. I'm just screaming like I lost my kid in Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's just yelling, hollering, May, or whatever.
May behind some clothes is laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. In the meantime, Osha is, saying they've already reached the base, Osha and Qimir, and she's like, they get to that little lift elevator, and she's like, yo, this is the only way up unless you want to climb. And he's like, there's other ways. And she turns around and says, my man is gone.
He said, I'm Batman.
Right. He pulled the Batman on her. And she was like, damn it. And so she had to, use her little Osha had to use her little ways and
she sliced her way.
Right.
And what is it?
Also too, this I love too how the sisters have switch clothing and also switch personalities as well, for the most part, or whatever. Because now May is wearing the white outfit that Osha was wearing when she first got with the Jedi stuff, and now Osha is wearing the almost like Sith assassin type gear that May was wearing. And so we get inside the temple, and she walks around and she sees their old bedroom, and she's just peering out the window and everything. Meantime, you still got your boy Sol, May yelling for May or whatever. And then next thing you know, you hear Qimir in his courtesan little helm. Thank you for bringing her to me. And what proceeds to happen is a very decent lightsaber battle.
Strong fight.
So between Sol and Qimir, and I mean, they are going at it. In the same time, Osha finds May in the room, their old bedroom, and they're talking. And Osha's like, you did this, and May's like, yo, chill. You don't know the whole story. Your boy been lying to you. And she said, I didn't do this. And she was like, you started the fire, didn't you? And she was like, okay, I did start the fire. She was like, all right, bet, cool. I did start the fire, but he killed our mother. And there's some of them. And she was like, you lying. She was like, no, he's been lying. And they proceed to have what almost resembled like a Matrix style fight where they're pushing forces and they slide and they fighting,
what's the name of the movie that with Jean-Claude Van Damme and he had a twin that was fighting together?
Double Impact.
Yeah, they had a double impact fight.
They did. They had a double impact fight. I like that movie too, by the way. Good, Rashad. Good.
You're welcome.
So we go back and we see that Sol and Qimir are going, and Sol is kind of adapted his style, and he's picked up some of Chimir's moves where he knows what he's going to do. He made sure he kept his lightsaber away from the helmet so he couldn't knock it out and stuff. And he was getting the best of Qimir or whatever, even disarmed him. And then they have what I like to call the not Clone Wars, but the Rebels Maul Obi-Wan pose off after a strike. Because he can't, said my man came in high, Sol came in low, and I said, oh snap.
Oh, did he get him?
Did he get him? Or did he get him? But no, what Sol did was basically cut my man's lightsaber in half. He took out Chimir's lightsaber and he is faced off with him. Meanwhile, May was able to escape from Osha, and I forget how, but somehow Sol lightsaber was on the ground.
Yeah, because during that whole tussle, both of the lightsabers, they was going at it, and I feel like because at one point, they because they was at one point they was mad close to each other. That was fighting,
and you saw the sparks off the court.
Yeah, there was some they did some really cool work with that lightsaber fight, and I was like, man, this could have been the whole time, but yeah, so they did all that happen, right? And they get to the courtyard, and it's almost like everybody's there. You know what I'm saying? So we got Osha in the shadows. And then we have Qimir, and then May. Oh yeah, when May pops out, knocks the lightsaber out of his hand, and then she grabs the lightsaber, and Qimir's like, cousin, you gonna go ahead and kill him, right? Yeah. And she was like, nah, I really just want him to come to justice. And also I need him to admit that he killed my mother. And he was like, oh, yes, I did. But it was for good reason. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying y'all was doing some crazy flim flam stuff here, and I had to go ahead and and protect y'all. And he was literally dying on that hill of his self-righteousness. Yep. So Osha's like, you really killed our mom? And
he was like, he said it, and Osha, and the thing is, she knew, once again, this is why I say Sol is a horrible Jedi, because he's not in the moment. He didn't sense any other Jedi, something would have been like this. So you finally heard it from me, huh, Osha? Because she was behind him. And he was just, anybody would have did that. He was like, he just sat there and said it, and then she set him up to say it so she could hear it. And she's like, is that true, Sol? And he said, yes, it is. But I was doing the right thing. You don't understand. And she was like, no. And then she was like, no, your mother. And that's when he basically told both of them, no, y'all are the same person. Somehow y'all mother split y'all and this and that. Also, what's going on in the meantime is that the Jedi and Vanessa Rowe have arrived. Rowe, they've arrived and they're heading towards, and Vanessa Rowe, they get off the ship because Qimir took his helmet off. Vanessa Rowe's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go find out what they are. She says, hold on real quick. She put her hand up and did the force thing and said, you survived. And then he felt that Qimir felt like, oh put my helmet back. He said, oh shit. He put the helmet back on quick.
Yo, he was shook.
He was shook.
Speaking
horrified.
I just want to say shout out Manager Senso, because he did some decent face acting. So when or facial acting. So when Soul was explaining how they are basically one person, did you see Qimir was like,
what?
For real?
For real?
He was like, oh, that's new information that I should probably go tell my master. You know what I'm saying? So now we have our easy in universe way of, have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise and how he basically tried to trick Death? So now we have that. And I like how it wasn't his original idea. I love how it was essentially a Black woman doing, you know what I'm saying, helping out. Again, as I always say, Black women always save the day. In this way, not really, but they still helping out though. Because
you know what though, too? I wouldn't be surprised they try to flip it later on if they do another season, just to say like he kind of helped or showed, you know what I'm saying, the witches about, hey, I've been doing so.
I feel like he's been probably trying to do some Sith dark magic research, but hasn't really tipped the scale in his favor yet. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this is
you know why he couldn't do it? He didn't have the power of many. I had to get it in there.
Oh, that was so well timed. Because I was like, what? Like, what did he have?
The power of many. The funniest, corniest thing.
Oh my God. All right. So remind me to talk about Plagueis one at the end. Because all right, so that happens. So your girl Venestra clearly knows that Qimir is there. Go ahead.
So she knows he's there. And so the next thing you know, Osha picks up Soul's lightsaber. And she has it. And next thing you know, and you see like a tight shot of like inside the hilt with the crystal.
Yeah, you can see the Qimir in there.
You see the Qimir in there starting to
that thing was crackling, boy.
And then I don't know how Soul got another lightsaber. Soul didn't get another lightsaber. Something. Nope. She pulled out she basically force choked this dude because he was trying to explain himself, and she was like, shut up, stop.
I'm like, yo, Soul, I need you to be quiet, yo. And he was like, I feel like it goes right. And she was like,
stop talking.
You just shut up.
And she was force choking.
He was like,
Qimir was over there like, yeah.
He was like,
and then you see May's kind of like,
oh snap, let's go, sis. Okay. This scene right here, so I gotta be honest. I never thought I would see this scene.
No, me neither.
I never thought I would see this scene because you have a setup where you have a force user in on the dark side that's strong. You have her and his apprentice, you know what I'm saying? And then you have this almost neutral person. But again, when it comes to somebody's emotions being unchecked, you can tap into the thing that you fear the most. Also, when she took the helmet off back on the random planet that has yet to be named, you saw her eyes went red anyway.
Yeah.
So she was she was out here fondling Darkside the whole time.
Right. And so she basically is choking, and Soul is like, he's accepting of it. That's the one thing. He's just like,
oh man, this is it.
And did he eventually say I'm sorry? I think
he said I'm sorry, and then he told her it's okay. And then you see them like that tight shot on her head, and then this and then crushed that man like he was a low-ranking military officer on a Star Destroyer, and she was Vader.
Yeah, she crushed like Luke did them assassin troopers on Dago in Mandalorian.
Yeah, them assassin droids,
or whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
So you know that happens, and then She ignites the lightsaber. I forget why she ignites the lightsaber.
Qimir.
That's right. Because Qimir, because she ignites the lightsaber, and you see it's blue, but then you see it starting to bleed and it's turning red. I said, "Oh, so this is how we're gonna see a lightsaber, a crystal being bled." I wish we could have seen it a little better than that, but I'm cool with it.
Nah,
Whatever.
yeah, I was very surprised. I said,
Yeah,
yo, and like how it looks, because like it was like, yo, this is blue. Then it was like red a little bit, back down to blue. Then it was like, yeah. And then Qimir was like, I cannot believe you was really the better sister.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He was like, I had the wrong one the whole time or whatever.
Should have known.
And then what ends up happening is like Qimir senses the Jedi coming.
Yeah.
He's like, pack it up, gotta go.
Yeah, May's like, hell, like, yo, like, and then Osha says, I'm just gonna wait for them to come. I'm gonna tell them what happened. And then May's like, they're gonna do us like they did our mom. And she was like, you know what? You're right. So
follow me, sis.
Yeah, we gonna I know a place. So they go back to the so I just want to talk about again, your man really abracadabras out of there. You know what I'm saying? Some sort of some sort of Sith ninja. So which kind of tracks because kind of fights like a ninja a little bit. So they go and she goes back to the place where the like the transformer or whatever that blew up and at the bridge thing. And she says, look, I found out like this is where I went to when I, you know what I'm saying, I didn't die, of course. And I led me and it led me out towards the front. So they go to the front of the joint and they run away. By the time the slow ass Jedis get there, and
you saw what Vanessa was doing, right? She was using the force ability to sense what happened and what was going on.
She had a
but
force
she was
CSI.
going, but she was going all the way back to
the day of the
16
event.
years of the event or whatever. She sensed all of that, and she basically was like, "Oh snap!" And then she sees that Sol is dead. But she still feels a presence because she tells the rest of the Jedi, hey, spread out 5 clicks this way, 5 clicks this way, find them girls or whatever. And then you see like kind of like Qimir's off in the distance looking off a ledge at her, and she looks up and he's gone by that point. So we see that May shows Osha, hey, when I fell down, I got sucked into this like exhaust vent right here. And they work their way out or whatever, and they end up at the tree,
aka the Virgins.
Right there. And they're talking, and it's like, hey, what we gonna do? Blah blah blah, this and that. And then Qimir pops up. He's just like, what's up, y'all? They found y'all, right? Okay.
So look, if I can find y'all, if I can find y'all, then they can find y'all. You know what I'm saying?
They found y'all, and then like that's when Osha was like, yo, we're gonna stay here. I don't care. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna tell the Jedi what's up. And he's like, no, girl, we need to go. No, this and that. And then May's like, well, look, Osha, what do you want to do? Because Qimir is like, hey, come with me. I will train you.
Time's a waste.
Time's a waste. And then she's like, and May's like, well, what you gonna do? And she says, we do what you want to do. And she says, I'm gonna go with him. And she was like, May was like, all right, you can go with him. I'm gonna stay here. And they was like, and that's when Qimir was like, oh hell no, they're gonna have you track, have you track us down. And then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna erase her daggone memory. So you see Osha and May have a last moment together. They hug. They, basically forgive each other for transgressions that happen and realize
do their twin power chant.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I am you, you are me, we are family, all that, whatever it is.
It's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Thing like that. And Qimir, the process while they was hugging, wipes May's memory. Qimir and Osha, peace out. The Jedi come. May sitting there catatonic on the daggone stump.
Talking about what the day is. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the day? And my man said, Padawan, you are under arrest. He was like, for what? It was like, girl, you got any weapons? Like what? And that's when he realized something was going on.
You know, only time he realized anything in this entire series.
Right.
Yeah, they gotta be the dumbest Padawan.
Yeah, so yeah, right. So we get back to Coruscant, and Vanessa Rowe is meeting with May. May comes in their cuffs and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, take that off of her, or whatever." So they take the handcuffs off her restraints, and she's talking to them. She's like, "Do you remember anything?" And she was like, "I remember there was a fire." And he was like, she said, "So the only thing you remember is what happened 16 years ago. It was a fire." And she was like, "Yeah." And so Vanessa Rose talking to her is like, "Yeah, because she was like, May said, they said I killed people." She's like, "Yeah, you started a fire and stuff, but you did kill a couple of people. But does the name Osha mean anything to you?" And she was like, "Who?" And she was like, "All right, cool." And so she's basically telling her, "Look, I'm gonna need you. You're gonna be fine, but I'm gonna need you to help me find this person because that's your sister." And she was like, "Sister? Okay." In the meantime, while that's going on, because she has on like some ceremonial type robe type
Yeah,
thing, I
yeah.
guess.
She's looking super fancy out
Yeah,
here.
and it had the Jedi symbols up there, so she's looking Jedi representative, and she's meeting, I guess, with the High Council of the Senate. It's not the
Yeah.
entire Senate, but just a
Yeah,
few,
yeah.
and she's explaining, "Look here, we had this situation happen. I didn't feel the need to bring it to y'all attention because it was in my jurisdiction and this and that." And then I guess you see that Supreme Chancellor guy. It's
Yeah.
a Supreme Chancellor alien looking dude is like, "Well, what do you want to do here?" And then you see my man, what's his name? Rashad, the black guy.
Court.
Rancourt is like, "You see what I mean? They need to be checked." Simple as that. They couldn't even, he is on it. And so she explains, "Look here, it wasn't no big conspiracy, this and that." And she basically, to still try to protect what the Jedi are about and what they do, she basically was like, "So I know it wasn't you. I now know that it wasn't you, but I have to make it you." And she basically told the story that Sol was a Jedi who lost his way. He caused all this, that he went back to the scene of the crime, the original crime, what happened. And it was like, "Why you didn't say nothing about it?" It was like, "Hey, logistics type stuff. This is what it is." And they was like, "Well, where is Master Sol now?" She says he's dead, self-inflicted. But we see in a flashback that, yes, he was dead, but she did give him a proper Jedi funeral by burning him on a pyre off into a, except they went off into a river. So it's like she knows what happens and she knows that he didn't do it, and they know that they have to find this person. So she made it seem like to the Senate, it's been resolved. The situation's been resolved, so they can leave them the hell alone. They're gonna try to do it. And so then we go back to unknown planet, where May is looking off. It's very Star Warsian-esque, as in the OG series, where she's looking off into the sunset. And so I don't think it was a binary sun, but she's looking off into the sunset. And then that's when you see Qimir come along, and he kind of holds her hand, and that is your new dark side power couple going on right now. And then the final scene is Vanessa Rowe goes to she goes, I guess, to the top floor of the temple, and she goes to
penthouse.
Penthouse, and she goes to meet, and she says, "Master, I have something to discuss with you." And we see the back of our good old friend Yoda's. You see Yoda's head,
Yeah.
and go to black, and that is the end of season series. We're not sure of the Acolyte. So questions are still open. One thing about Disney, they're gonna tie this into something else somehow, because they gotta finish this story or whatever. No matter how much how divisive, excuse me, this show has been. This show has probably been one of the more divisive shows. This is on the Kenobi was a divisive show as well for some people, but for some, this is a divisive show. For me, I enjoyed it for what it was. Was some of it convoluted? Was some things kind of like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like me, I would have loved to see more of the strife between my man Ro and the Jedi. Seen some more of that, you know what I'm saying, going, you know, the politics between the Jedi and the Senate, or why this guy wants to do that. Like you said, Rashad, too, this could have really been 6 episodes, maybe 5. Yeah. 6. This could have been 5 episodes, and some stuff could have been cut out. Has this show gotten, in my opinion, a lot of unnecessary hate? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's a lot of very unnecessary hate, going back to people who really think, who are like, George wouldn't do this. George wouldn't, like, y'all do not know George. Listen, there's only one person on this planet who knows what George would do. His name is Dave Filoni, and I'm pretty sure Dave Filoni probably had a little bit to do with this.
Yeah, either show. Dave or Pablo Hidalgo, and you already know that he's involved in everything because he's the head of the story group. So
yeah,
and going with the unnecessary hate on this show, like sometimes I'll be looking like, why y'all, like, what are y'all? Okay, like there's 2 complaints that people have. One is actual show complaints. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like our complaint was basically the show has a pacing issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And also pacing, and I was thinking about it more since you said that last week, sequencing. Mm-hmm. Because I know it's supposed to be a murder mystery, but I feel like the sequencing of it was off, which led to some pacing issues. Like, this could have been
why I say it
could have been
off a little convoluted.
Yeah, it could have came across a little bit better. We could have had some additional stuff, some stuff taken out. But that's not the hint out there. I'm not here to produce a show. But like when people have the other side of this issue of calling this, which just, I hate this so much. Okay. Calling this like a D, like one person like called this like a DEI puke fest. And I legit was like, I was like, this is worse than Star Wars Resistance? Because that's like the worst piece of media that's came out for Star Wars. So
I've never even watched it.
I did watch both seasons. So I was like, how would you make this better? With particularly with less DEI. And they was on some, we trying to pander the POC and marginalized groups. And I'm like, fam, you didn't answer my question.
Right. That's the thing. No, that's the problem I have right there. Because the people that want to especially complain about diversity, quote unquote, what they felt was LGBTQ stuff that happened in this show and stuff, this about, but when you ask them, okay,
but Tony, like, so I pressed him, right? Uh-huh. And basically he said, without this whole cop trying to take out like a marginalized community, there would have been no plot. Did you know what he says? I would have just did Knights of the Old Republic. Bruh, how you gonna do Knights of the Old Republic in a TV show? Like, that's not a TV show. That is a 3-part trilogy. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then people say like stupid stuff like that and don't really be thinking. And the marginalized community, that's not really what the show is about, because that's not a theme. Marginalized communities isn't a theme. Being cop isn't a theme. Those are topics that have to deal with a theme. The theme of this show is clearly unchecked emotions lead to harmful things, and usually those harmful things will hurt or when you don't realize what you're doing, you're gonna hurt the people that you love. Like that, those 2 things is what the show is about. So if you don't understand the show, then just say that, because you see Black people of color on shows and things, and women, things of this nature, and people that are part of LGBTQ community. If you see these things and you automatically jump to, oh, this is so woke. Like that's when I usually don't even engage, because I know where you're coming from. And it's a place of stupidity and supreme ignorance that I'm not about to sit here and jump off the bridge with you. You know what I'm saying?
What this show basically was: fear leads to anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Yes, I mean, I don't.
That's
for all of you. Oh, I know Star Wars like this, and I know that. That's it. That's what this show is about. without saying it.
Nah, I mean it's unequivocally. It's like it's
Yeah.
so and like and one of the complaints I have, it's hella heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like Healing and the group was not trying to hide that this was what the show was about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's move past this. We'll be
Okay.
here all day.
So
So
you said you wanted to talk about Plagueis. Go ahead.
yeah. So another thing too, like kind of getting on stupid people online. Like I've seen today, people say, "Oh, this basically makes Anakin's story so it's like a moot point." I'm like, fam, like I need you to understand. Plagueis didn't create Anakin. Plagueis' whole thing was to like basically live forever. And because there was this interruption in the force itself
Mm-hmm.
creates Anakin. So
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker is the literal baby of the force,
Mm-hmm.
i.e. Jesus or Yeshua, whatever you want to call him. That's the that y'all, I don't understand why y'all can't see that. Like like these people who be loving this stuff so much, but then can't take 2 seconds to either go to Wikipedia or just have some critical a little, not even critical thinking, just some small amount of a modicum of thought. You know what I'm saying? To actually go through the process of, oh yeah, that's not. This was a knee jerk reaction by me.
Because the thing is, whenever you try to play with the force finds a way to correct itself. Even in this right here, these chicks dabbled in the force, what they refer to as the thread, trying to create a child. And what happened? The force was like, no, you're not going to get one child. You're going to get two children. And one is going to be more light side. One is going to be more dark side. Luckily, but the thing is, they basically is the same person and it flipped. It's just, that's all it is. Like, it's people are making this bigger than what it is. And as I always say, somebody, because I always like to say, be happy that we have Star Wars content. We should just accept junk. Like, how is this junk, dude? Like, this isn't like horrible stuff. Like I said,
Tony,
go ahead.
this is better than Obi-Wan.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
you want me? It's Boba Fett too.
But yeah, conceptually, I mean, of course, it's just the whole story. Like, it just was a better story. Like, I had way more enjoyment watching this.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing too, is like we got to understand. Also, this is one of those rare cases where I'm just being sarcastic when I say rare. Gotta watch the whole thing.
But my God, that's what we said the entire
time. I know we here to react to this every week and do reviews based upon what we've been shown and critique and have our gripes and give our flowers to certain things, but like the total product is really what it's about. And I'm looking at this in its totality. I'm like, okay, I see. Now I can, of course, hindsight is 2020, but we can truly see why they had restraint in some areas, and also why they didn't go all out in some areas. Like I can kind of I can clearly see that. Also, I just want to Tony, they killed so many main characters on the show. Like nobody does that.
Carrie-Anne Moss was killed within the first 5-10 minutes of the show.
They killed like 7 people.
And then we didn't see, right. Yeah, 7. I think
I'm talking about like they killed Yord, they killed Jackie, they killed
Carrie-Anne Moss,
the 4 Jedi that was on the planet. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And a host of other red shirt Jedis.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody doing that. And you got to respect that for like, you know what? Oh, y'all love Yord?
Yeah.
Off.
We didn't, but yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
It was whack. Yeah. But still, like, you got to respect that.
I guess for me, what I'm saying, just kind of, we're going to wrap this up a little bit.
Definitely.
So what do I always say? Where do we go from here?
Good question. So we're gonna go off the premise that there's gonna be a season 2. So that's how we're gonna speak about it. If there's a season 2 to this, do you understand? Like, the world blows up. So now we got Yoda in the mix, and then Tony. we can get the show that we really wanted.
Yeah.
And that is a Sith-centric show. So we also, I was listening today, like some people talking about it, and like I said earlier, it feels like they wanted to do something, but Disney Lucasfilm was like, nah. And I was right. Because essentially they wanted to have a more Sith-centric show where the Sith person was the protagonist.
Yeah.
But they was like, let's kind of pump the brakes on that. I don't think they
I
knew
that. I knew that about a year or two ago. That was the original plan for it.
Yeah. And then you see how it kind of diverted into this because it was pitched to us. Like, yo, this is gonna be about the Sith doing Sith stuff, and it really wasn't about that. So we could actually get that show. You feel what I'm saying? With Plagueis, Ruler 2 popping off. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gotta die.
Yeah,
it could be Osha, it could be
somebody.
Qimir,
a lot of people a lot of people gotta die because we gotta figure out what's Vanessa Rowe's connection to Qimir. You know, what's gonna happen with the twins on that. What's Plagueis doing, you know, getting his in the back, you know what I'm saying, in the background type stuff. So there's some things that could happen. Also, too, I feel, because remember what happened in the second episode, if I'm not mistaken, the uproar when God, what's his name? The Jedi that was there. Kalmundi Ali. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Ki-Adi-Mundi,
excuse me. And he when it was like, well, how could he not know? Because we saw in the you know what I'm saying, the prequels, he was like, well, there hasn't been a Sith in a millennia. You know why he ain't know? Because he ain't know nothing about this. And you saw him the thing. They were just like, oh, some dark side users or something. Oh, we don't know what's going on here. Because it never got back to the council that these are Sith. Never got back.
Yeah, because we already know that Plagueis doesn't get caught. Plagueis end up seducing young Palpatine and then turns him over to the Senate to control the Senate. And
I am the Senate.
Yeah. So we already know, like, that's the route that has to go. So there's some things that have to happen. Also, it's just some the how is going to be interesting to watch, like how it all happens. Like I was like those are the type of things that I really like, and then that's gonna that ends up this story what ends up dovetailing into, like, you know, where we are at the beginning of the Skywalker era. But
so that's it for that. We'll see what happens. You know, people are gonna complain, people are gonna like it. You know, you do it. You know, tell us how you feel. Whatever. Tell us how you feel about it
in the comments below. That's
before you go, I just want to say something not related to this show or whatever. I found out in the middle of doing my job today, and I had to text Rashad and let him know Emmy nominations came out. And what I believe is me and Rashad, well, I know mine, but probably Rashad's favorite show as well so far this year, Shogun. 25 nominations.
Yeah, if y'all didn't watch Shogun, like, I need y'all to do two things.
Yeah,
go back and watch that, and we review that whole season.
Watch
and
us.
we have fun doing that one too, y'all, because that was an unexpected masterpiece of a show. Like it's so good. Like I don't want to be what's the word I'm looking for here? Okay, I don't want to minimize the show, but like it's basically like Samurai Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Like real.
And we are not trying to minimize. The show was fantastic. I mean,
it was good, but just as a point of reference, most of y'all seen GOT. So that's it. Speaking of GOT, House of the Dragon, episode 7 is coming up.
Is it 3 or 2? Yeah, it's episode 7 coming up, right?
Yeah. So it's 2. So one more episode? It's only 8.
No.
We got episode 6.
Episode 6 is ready to come up, right?
Oh man, episode 6.
We got 3 more episodes.
3 left. Join us over there every Monday, 7 p.m. West of Rose in the building, talking, you know, just having a really, really great time discussing all the goings-ons of Westeros and Colonel Angus and a couple other folks that we keep on popping up.
All right. Also, too, next week, movie of the summer.
Oh yeah. Wolverine Deadpool. So we would definitely again. Oh man, we'll tell y'all how we're gonna do that because I can't drop 2 reviews at the same time. It's not gonna work for the algorithm. But we'll figure that out. It's probably like a Sunday drop.
Sunday,
probably Sunday. Probably drop it on Sunday. Give you our review because I can't. I gotta focus on Game of Thrones at 9:00 Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time.
Pretty much.
So I gotta be done with that. So yeah, you probably drop it on Sunday. Also, this weekend, the Comic-Con of all Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con is this weekend.
Oh, it is.
It's something real crazy pop up.
Let's call it what it is. You'll see another video. You're definitely going to see another video from us coming up soon because it's about to be some teasers coming up or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we probably do like a good trailer roundup. If I'm in that house chilling doing nothing, I will do some trailer reactions. So yeah, I'm
off this weekend, so just let me know. Yeah. I'm also. I don't plan on doing nothing but chilling,
man. Because you already know who about to be in Hall H today. On Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Marvel's back, baby. And like I said before, I think we said this offline. I said, look, or I said to somebody online. I said, if they already gave us all these trailers already, you know what I'm saying? They about to bring us the heat on Saturday night. You already know.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to finally get the revamped title of the Avengers.
Avengers 5.
Avengers, because it's not going to be Kang Dynasty, whatever, or anything like that. Also, too, one more thing. Speaking of, we talked about just a few minutes ago of the what I like to call the Game of Thrones verse. 2025 is the expected release date for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. 2002, they have already started shooting for it, and we are about to get the series Dunk and Egg. So
can't wait.
And if you want to know what this is, Egg is Aegon. He's one of the Aegons, but
he's
this
Aegon the
fourth.
It's like 7 of them, Jones, right?
I think he's gonna be the fifth. I think he's the one after Aegon the Unworthy. So he might be the 5th. But anyway, just for point of reference, this is Maester Aemon of the Wall. This is his brother that he talks about because he is known as Aegon the Unlikely because he was like the 5th brother. He was like the 4th brother in line to become the king. And Aemon was supposed to be the king, but he turned it down to get his Maester changed. So things could have been different, And this Aegon is, to help y'all out a little bit more, the grandfather of the Mad King. So it's going to be
good lineage.
It's going to be tales of him when he was a little boy going through Westeros with Duncan the Tall, which is a knight that befriended him. So
good the Hound and Arya vibes. But that's all we got for this one. Appreciate you, big dog. And
always
we will be back. And y'all see us. We'll
if someone asked me to just say this, are you and Rashad really friends? Are y'all really that close? Yes, people. Me and Rashad have known each other.
I could.
How many years? Going on 26
since 98.
99.
99.
Yeah, some. Me and Rashad have known each other personally since summer of 99. We've known. I could say we have crossed paths by proxy, not knowing who the hell we were. Further since 95, 95, not knowing who. I'm saying my man was in Carolina at that time. I'm in Virginia, but our
paths definitely crossed. We was the same time on several occasions.
On several occasions, but never knew each other existed until July of 1999. Me and Rashad met 6th floor Fine Arts Building at Norfolk State University. Rashad and his boy John from the high school down there.
Shout out John.
Yeah, shout out John. And we've been pretty tight. We've been pretty tight for the most part ever since, man. So yes, Me and Rashad know each other, really do know each other. We are really good friends. This is how much good friends we are. 2 weeks after his first child was born, I was the babysitter for a week while Rashad had to work in the evening. His lovely wife, had to go to school. They needed someone to watch the kid. I was like, I'll do it. So yeah, I don't think you're gonna let just some random dude watch his kid or whatnot.
Nah. This is a legitimate thing. I couldn't do this to nobody unless I'm getting paid. I'm not doing this to nobody. I don't really like. That's funny, yo. All right, Joe. But yeah. I'll see you guys whenever, man. I appreciate y'all.
Peace.